Shalom, Bethel family and other friends who like to review last week's Torah portion with us. Last week in Shul, we read from Parshat Naso, and we particularly focused in on a group known as the Nazarites, a group who take a special vow to go above and beyond what God expects of us and to do even more. And in their honor, I wanted to talk about a dangerous disease that is spreading like a plague across our communities and neighborhoods. I don't know if you have sensed it, but I am sure you have experienced it. You may even be an unwitting victim of this nasty syndrome. Now, I have yet to hear an accepted name for the perpetrator. I've heard it referred to in many different ways. Some people call it the whatevers, others the I don't really cares, and a bunch the doldrums of 2017. The symptoms include a general malaise, a lack of motivation to get involved or engage in making the world better, and a basic belief that the world has gone mad, and most of the people who don't agree with me are incredible idiots, and that nothing can be done by one individual such as myself to really make a difference. The disease is often paired with depression, almost always with anxiety, and often includes a general resistance to opening one's eyes in the morning and facing the day to come or the world as it is. Maybe you're a little familiar with this? In my role as rabbi, I speak with a lot of people, and I have been amazed at the near universal spread of apathy and despair across our communities and nation. It affects people of every social status, at either end of the socioeconomic spectrum and everywhere in between, of every political persuasion, and independent of someone's ethnicity, background, or even creed. I find this near universal malaise frightening. The loss of faith in our neighbors and our community structures, the lack of will to do anything about the ills we see, the faith, the firm belief that nothing we can do can make a difference. We've seen waves of apathy like this before, and they are never harmless. Apathy like this is always a prelude to calamity. Perhaps that's why in Judaism it is also sinful. That's right. God does not merely require us to follow the mitzvot, the actions that make us partners with God in fulfilling tikkun olam, repairing the world, and making God's presence more apparent to everyone in the world. But God also requires to do these mitzvot enthusiastically. It is a concept we call zrizut. In the Parsha, we read about this group of Nazarites who are so eager to serve God that they take on extra obligations. In some ways, these enthusiasts are models for all of us. We are taught in Pirkei Avot, you should run to do a mitzvah, as quickly for a simple one as a difficult one. And the Mishnah continues, because doing one mitzvah brings on another, and the reward for doing a mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. That is such a profound teaching for this moment. It explains that we must be enthusiastic about doing good in the world. We must run to help in any way we can. And why? Because the very act of helping, of being part of something greater than ourselves, carries with it a deep reward. A reward that we sense deep in our souls and that motivates us to keep doing good, to keep being involved, right? One mitzvah brings another. Doing a mitzvah itself is its own reward. Doing good is in and of itself a cure for apathy. It breeds its own zrizut, its own enthusiasm. But if this is so, why is it so hard to get started? There are probably a lot of reasons that could be offered, but if this malaise is a symptom of our time, then I would posit that the germ is distraction. Excuse me. Thanks to so many of the useful advances that we have made, we are bombarded by more distraction than ever before. We are bombarded by advertisements and people encouraging us to collect more stuff, as if material things will make us happy. though they never do for long. There's always the next model car we need, or the new gadget, or the faster computer. We do not need any of these things, but we are distracted into thinking we do, and the pursuit of these things keeps us from being enthusiastic about the things that really matter, relationships, and making the world better. We also are bombarded on our phones and our Facebook feeds and our televisions with stories about how the world is falling apart. We sit there and we read about all these huge problems, these insurmountable issues that are all around us, and they keep getting worse, and we feel impotent to make a difference. We tell ourselves, well, if only I were wealthier, I would contribute. Or if only I were smarter, I would have a good idea of how to help. Or if only I were less busy, I would have time to get involved. Or if only I were more powerful, I would have the strength to make a difference. We rationalize ourselves with whatevers and distractions until we can't move an inch, when we should be jumping up and making a difference in any way we can, in even a little way. The bombardment with big problems makes us forget that we can and should make a difference on a local level. As we learn also in Pirkei Avot, it is not for us to complete the task, but neither are we free to ignore it. In other words, don't be overwhelmed by the task. Take it one case, one step, one issue at a time. Step out of your comfort zone just that first time and make a small difference. And mitzvah goreret mitzvah. That will lead us to another mitzvah, another good act, and another one. And the reward will be the world that we are living in. There's a famous story adapted from The Star Thrower by Lauren Isley that makes its way around the internet from time to time, and it's worth sharing here. The story goes that an older man is walking down the beach after unusual tide has gone out, and that stranded tens of thousands of starfish on the shore. From far away, he sees someone coming down the beach and bending down every once in a while and throwing something into the water. As he gets closer, he realizes it's a young boy. As they meet, he asks the boy, "What are you doing?" "I'm saving these starfish," the boy replies. "Can't you see the tide has stranded them here on the beach and they can't get back in the water themselves?" "But there are tens of thousands of starfish on the beach," the man says. "I'm afraid you're wasting your time. I don't see how what you are doing will make much of a difference." Just then, the boy reached down, picked up a starfish, and threw it back into the water. He looked up at the man and said, "It made a difference to that one." My friends, it is time to shake the malaise of 2017. It is time to get up and throw that first starfish. Take that first step into something important. It is time to rally our zrizut, our enthusiasm, so that we can be the restoration of faith in each other that we are waiting for, that we can be the symbol of goodness and effectiveness that our society and our neighbors need, and that will make our communities better. There is no lack of things to do to help. We see them all around us. It is time to pick one and to get going, to do so enthusiastically. And I look forward to living in the world that we will create together. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom for this upcoming week, and a lot of blessings and success as we march on this journey together.